it's another Tuesday, which means another visit with our friend Heather Dinich. Let's check out her latest college football playoff projections after week 3. Ohio State still sitting pretty at number 1. SEC reigning supreme, 3 of the top 5 spots. How about Illinois? Just outside the top 10. They're peeking in there. Big matchup this week against Indiana, and notably absent from the list. You see, Clemson dropped out last week for her, and Notre Dame no longer in her top 12. Heather joining us now. Okay, Heather, we have plenty of questions after seeing your list, and I like some of what you did there, but we're talking Notre Dame. 0-2 now to start the season, losses to Miami and Texas A&M. Certainly really good teams, but we know they do not have a conference affiliation. So, are the Fighting Irish dead in the water at this point? If not, what's their way back into the conversation?
Their way back in the conversation is to run the table, look good in the process, hope that some of those teams that they beat are ranked by the selection committee, and then they have to sit there on selection day and hope some other contenders lose. The reality is, because they're an independent and they can't clinch a spot in the playoff by winning a conference title and finishing as one of the 5 highest ranked conference champions, their resume, those 12 games, have to be good enough to impress the committee. And their best 2 chances against top 25 opponents are already behind them. So all of the stars have to align for the Irish. It's not impossible, but they have got to win every game.
Trev, I know a conference, Heather, I know a conference that I think would love to have them. Cough ACC. Anyways, I just had to add that. Trev, the stage is yours. Sorry,
just real quick. Those 2 losses at the start of the season, being by a total of 4 points, may help their case by season's end, but it is about winning at the end of the day. On the other end of that matchup was Texas A&M, who made quite the jump in the AP poll. They are number 5 in your college football playoff projections. What are we to make of the Aggies going forward as far as where they stand relative to everyone else in this conversation?
Well, they're in the playoff conversation right now, and that non-conference win is going to continue to separate them from some other playoff contenders down the stretch that didn't play as tough of a non-conference schedule. The head-to-head result also matters. The selection committee compares common opponents. So if Miami and Texas A&M are being compared in the committee meeting room side by side, Miami will have the win against Notre Dame at home. Texas A&M went on the road and was able to do it. Look at that game at LSU on October 25th for the Aggies, though. That's one of the toughest remaining games. They also play rival Texas, obviously, in the regular season finale. So we've got to learn more about them, and we will. But this was the first playoff statement for that program under Mike Elko.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of a turning point for the Aggies. They've been reaching for this and finally picked up that signature win. Okay, let's talk Clemson Tigers. I know they're not in your top 12. You dropped them out last week, but they're now 1-2 to start the season. What is their potential playoff path if they are to still have one, Heather?
Well, remember last year that 3-loss Clemson was in the college football playoff because it won the ACC. That's the beauty of this system, if you choose to look at it that way, is any team with a shot at winning its conference has a shot at competing for all the marbles. So if Clemson can get itself together and get into the ACC championship game, then it's not out of the realm of possibility. However, to me, this was more of a statement about Georgia Tech and Haynes King because they are a potential playoff team. This was one of their toughest games. And remember, they took Georgia to 8 overtimes last year. So let's not sleep on how good of a team Georgia Tech is as we talk about what Clemson hasn't done.
What Brent Key is building out there in Georgia Tech is something special. I think it's undeniable at this point. And if you ain't hip, I hope you are hip at this point. Heather, when it comes to the Big Ten, shifting quite a bit here, Illinois and what they are doing at 3-0. Matchup against Indiana this upcoming weekend, and what they do going forward will continue to further them as far as that Big Ten and playoff discussion. What's your assessment of them as of late?
Well, right now I have them at number 11. But guys, remember this about the ranking system in a 12-team playoff. If you're number 11 and or number 12, you can be out of it, right? So they need to assure themselves of a spot in this thing by moving up to a safe spot, and beating Indiana is one way to do that. Because think about this, guys. If you're talking about the Big Ten in the playoff, you're most likely talking about Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, and Illinois or Indiana. I would be very surprised if both of them made it into the playoff and the Big Ten got 5 teams. And we didn't even mention USC yet, which is quietly winning games and getting a lot better out there, while everyone else is talking about all these other teams. So this Indiana-Illinois is a sneaky important playoff game, because the winner is going to be the leader for that at-large bid if they don't win the Big Ten title.
God, if you're anything like me, I still kind of forget USC's in the Big
Oh,
Ten.
yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
You got to wipe your eyes sometimes and be like, oh, yeah, Taylor, don't forget. Heather, thank you so much. Appreciate
As
your time,
always.
and we'll see what Week 4 has to hold. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.